Hey, I'm Prashant. Welcome to day one of my render journey. I'm starting 30 days challenge where I learn creative software from scratch. I'm kicking things off with Blender. I'm complete beginner, so if you are new to 3D, you are in the right place. So here is the plan. Every day for 30 days, I learn something new. First up, I'm installing Blender. It's free and open source, which is awesome. Let's open it for the first time. Alright, Blender is open and wow, there's a lot on the screen. I see a big grid, a camera, a light, and of course, the default cube. I'm learning how to move around in 3D space. To rotate around in the scene, I hold the middle mouse button. See the cube turning, scrolling zoom in and out. Now the cube Blender's mascot, I guess. When I click it, it gets selected. Let's move it. I'll press G to grab and move my mouse. Look at that. The cube slides around. If I click, it stays there. Rotate it with R and press S to scale it. This is actually fun, like playing with a toy in a virtual sandbox. Okay, let's get serious. How about we make something? A lot of beginners start with donut. Thanks to Blender Guru's most famous tutorial. Let's try it. I'll delete the cube by cube and add donut shape. In a Blender, it's called a torus. Now, this is where things start to feel a bit more like actual modeling. I have got a basic shape, but it's not quite there yet. You see, Blender gives you these basic objects to start with, and from here you can shape and mold them into whatever you want. Let's get this donut looking a bit more, well, donut like. Before I go too far into details, I need to zoom in and adjust some of basic settings for the shape. Right now it's a bit rough around the edges. I want it to be smoother like a real donut. In a Blender, you can change how many segments the shape has to make it look cleaner. Let's open properties panel and tweak the donut setting a bit. There we go, making it look like little more smoother. Now it's looking more like what I imagine in my head. Next up, we are going to make this shape look even better. Blender has this cool tool called Subdivision Surface Modifier, and it's really useful for adding more detail and making things look smoother. This will make the donut look more organic instead of sharp edges. We'll get smooth curves. Alright, now it's time to dive into edit mode. This is where we can really start shaping the donut and making it look more realistic. To go into edit mode, I just press tab key. Now I can select and move the vertices, edges and the faces of the donut. I am going to start by selecting some of the edges loop to adjust the shape. Right now it's a bit too even, so I want to make it look like a real donut with some variation in the thickness and curve. Then I'll go in and add some subtle curves to the surface. Real donuts aren't perfect. They have bumps and slightly imperfection. So I'll make sure mine has those small irregularities. This is all about adding those little details to make the donut feel more natural. Once I am happy with the shape, I'll move on to the next step. To make this shape really look like a donut, I want to add some icing on the top. But first, I'll duplicate the donut shape. I have already made it. This way, I have a second copy to work with, and I won't mess with the original shape. So, to duplicate it, I'd select the donut and press Shift D. Now I have two identical donuts. Next, I'll enter edit mode on the duplicate and delete the bottom half of the shape. This is going to leave me with just upper part of the donut, which will act as the icing. I just select the bottom faces and delete them. Now we are left with the top half of the donut. To give the icing some thickness, I'll add a modifier called Solidify. This is a cool tool that will give me some depth to the icing. Just like how real icing has a little thickness to it. To do that, I'll go to the modifiers tab, choose Solidify, adjust the thickness value to get the icing look. Now that we have got the basic icing shape, I want to adjust the details to make it look even more realistic. I'm going to go back to edit mode and use vertex adjusting to tweak the icing surface. I'll move the vertices around a bit to make icing uneven, kind of like it's following over the donut. Real icing isn't perfectly smooth, right? So I'll make some areas look thicker and others thinner, give it more like natural look. To make the icing look like it's actually dripping down the side of the donut, I'll select few edges loop, extrude them downwards. This creates the dripping effect you can see on the donut when the icing melts a little. I'll keep adjusting edges until it looks like delicious. Once they're done, we are in the home stretch. Now we have donut with some realistic icing dripping over it. So that's day one. Let's recap. I learned how to move around in Blender, how to mess with objects, and even did a little modeling and sculpting to make this a donut. Not bad for the first Blender session. I did struggle a bit at first, but every click is making me feel more comfortable. Tomorrow, I'm going to keep working on this donut. Maybe add some sprinkles or color to make it look even tastier. Stick around to see how that goes. If you're also learning Blender, comment below. Maybe we can help each other.